Hello everybody and welcome to Got Your Back, this Sunday night short shift edition, brought to you by Mid-City Construction Management. Remember, this is a locally owned and operated construction company that has been handling some of the most important projects around the city since 1980, and I can tell you that the good folks over at Mid-City Construction are hiring. So if you are looking for work, they just might have something for you. They're looking for quality people, all levels of qualifications, equipment operators, grounds people, concrete workers, snow removal, full and part-time positions are available. There's plenty of room for growth and advancement in the company, and they have competitive wages. So for a full list of available opportunities at Mid-City Construction, go to mid-city.ca and click Apply Now. So just back in the Sherwood Park studios on the heels of the Oilers' first exhibition game of the season. A pretty solid performance, as much as we would ever care enough to say that about an exhibition game. 4-0 shutout win over the Winnipeg Jets. Now, Winnipeg sent a pretty young lineup, but the Oilers actually iced a reasonably young lineup as well. A lot of their younger guys too. So didn't feel like an incredibly uneven matchup. And I thought the Oilers got some really, really solid performances. So on this short shift edition, we're just going to rip through some of what I thought were notable, rock-solid performances by a couple of different Oilers. The only place to start on this night is with Dylan Holloway. Look, folks, I mean, the kid continues to knock every opportunity out of the park that he gets put in front of him. Rookie camp, should Dylan Holloway stand out at rookie camp? Yeah. But people who go to that camp every year came back saying that was one of the best all-around performances that they've seen from a player at that rookie camp in Penticton. That might have been Stoff, I think, who said that. And he's there every year. He knows and he sees. I didn't go, but word out of there was that he was fantastic. So now he comes to main camp, has looked fine in the skates, but goes out tonight, another opportunity placed in front of him to try and show that he belongs, to try and separate himself. Well, check out this stats line, and you tell me, if you didn't get to watch the game tonight, this stats line, if you think he separated himself. So he had a goal, deflection in the mid-slot, ended up being plus 2, 17 minutes and 14 seconds in 26 shifts, 6 shots, 9 shot attempts, 3 hits, and then 3 takeaways. Like, on this stat sheet that we get after every single game, there are a number of different categories, right? There's some positives and there's some negatives, right? So giveaways, I didn't have any of them. Face-off percentage, well, he was 50%. That is just a really positive impact on a game. Oilers' best player tonight, flat out. And you can say, well, yeah, it's exhibition and it's not NHL speed and. He can only play in the game that's in front of him. Dylan Holloway played an exhibition game tonight, was the best player on the ice. There were other guys that had a lot more games of NHL experience in the lineup than he did. He was better than all of them. All of them. So another challenge accepted, another challenge knocked out of the park for Dylan Holloway. He continues to make some noise here in the early going at Oiler training camp. I think it was really smart to send Dylan Holloway to the Oiler rookie tournament. I think getting those games in has made a huge difference. And man, he looked really, really good tonight. Now, we heard Ken Holland say last week that unless he's playing probably on the top 3 lines, are going to have a hard time keeping Dylan Holloway. So his challenge right now, and he knows this, is to crack one of the top 3 lines on the Edmonton Oilers this season. Because if he's on the 4th line, I don't think they're going to drag him around on a 4th line. So he recognizes this is his challenge, and everything that's being placed in front of him, he's doing a great job. He's just always around the puck. Every time he's on the ice, he always finds a way to make something happen. He's around it. He's all over it. He's got a great drivetrain. The legs are just constantly going, and he goes and goes and goes and goes, shorthanded, creating opportunities. Some really smart, astute penalty-killing plays. Remember, he scored the shorthanded goal when he was in Penticton. So, listen, it is early, but early returns are in, and they're fantastic for Dylan Holloway. He is going to take a serious run at this. Okay, other notable mentions. I'm going to go to Marcus Niemelainen second. And never mind the goal. Let's take the goal and throw it out, because that's not how we're going to evaluate Marcus Niemelainen. Good for him. He scored it. He got it done. And that's big for him. But it was the other areas of his game that I thought he was really good tonight. So he finished with a goal. He was +2, 15 minutes and 25 seconds of ice time. But he had 6 hits and he had 3 block shots. So Markus Niemelainen is in tough to make the Oiler blue line. I think we all know, right? Philip Broberg basically has a spot to lose. Ryan Murray, they bring in on a contract, and Ryan Murray is definitely going to be a presence this year as well. So I mean, it's going to be tough for him without some injuries. So what can you do to get noticed? Well, Markus Niemelainen has a dimension that nobody else really on the Oilers has. He is big, he skates really, really well, and he goes over the boards every time with the intention of hitting people hard. Not just rubbing them out, not just a nice little taking a guy off the puck and, a nice sweet little play where he gets taken off the puck. Nothing like that. He wants to go out there and drill people. He looks for it. It's like he craves it. He is wired a certain way. We knew this about Markus Niemelainen before. The question for Markus Niemelainen is, are his puck skills going to improve enough to allow him to play regularly at the NHL level? Because he is offering up a dynamic that as Jay Woodcroft peruses his blue line, he's not going to find a lot of that elsewhere. Here's Woodcroft on Niemelainen's game tonight.
He's put a lot of work in to put himself in the conversation to compete for ice time on the Edmonton Oilers blue line, and I don't think he did anything tonight to take his name out of that hat. He put in a really good first preseason game as well.
Sorry, technical issue there. Sorry for the crappy audio, but I think you could hear what he had to say. He did nothing to take himself out of contention. I would say took a step forward in terms of putting himself into contention because, Niemelainen does things that other defensemen don't do. Now it's over to Philip Broberg to go out and play steady, to be a great puck-handling, puck-moving defenseman. But this is going to be interesting. Can Markus Niemelainen push Philip Broberg for one of the spots on the blue line? I think it's a long shot, but he looked to me tonight to be handling the puck a little bit better than he was last year, and he came back every bit as mean and grumpy as he was last season when we saw him. 6 hits, 3 block shots. Good season in the American League last year, dealt with some injury troubles, had a good look in the NHL. He's shown he can play in NHL games. This is a really nicely developing prospect for the Edmonton Oilers, and I thought he had a solid game tonight. Also notable tonight, Stuart Skinner. Listen, steady, solid. He was on it. Wasn't scrambling around in his crease, looked calm, and was on it. And I think that's what he needs to go in there and do. Just be steady. Not be chasing it, not looking like he's a touch behind, not scrambling around, not overplaying it, not trying to do too much. He just went in there and stopped all 18 shots that he had to stop. And a really nice opening night shutout performance through 35, 36 minutes from Stuart Skinner. Really strong performance. It was interesting. We went into the dressing room post-game. And by the way, yes, we're back in the locker room. Like after the game was over, we marched in there with our microphones a la 3 years ago and hopped into scrums, and it was great to be back in the room tonight. I'm not sure how the players feel about it, whatever. But as a media guy and someone who has a job to do, it's so nice to be back in the locker room where we can get in that environment, talk to guys one-on-one, and it was awesome to be back in there. Anyway, my point, I walked into the locker room, and I saw Stuart Skinner sitting in his stall, and who was right beside him having a chat with him? Jack Campbell. So this is what we know about Jack Campbell. He's gone out of his way, came here early just to try and develop a bunch of relationships, but that relationship with Stuart Skinner. He's put in a lot of effort. The two of them are already becoming close, and Campbell took the time after the game to go tell Skinner he thought that he looked calm and just to tell him how well he played. And that right there is a big part of the reason why Jack Campbell is as beloved in the locker rooms that he spends time in as he is. He was right there sitting next to Skinner when we walked in, but very steady performance from Stuart Skinner tonight. Really, really good start. The question for me on Skinner, I think he's ready to be an NHL backup all day long. Here's my question. Can he push Jack Campbell? How much can he push Jack Campbell? Are we going to be having conversations where there's an important game on the schedule and both guys are rested And we actually have to ask Jay Woodcroft, so who are you starting tonight? And where Jay Woodcroft is actually going to have to think about it a little bit. And maybe Stuart Skinner will get the odd start over Jack Campbell. I don't know. Maybe that's setting expectations a little bit too high. I'm not sure. But wouldn't that be a great problem for them to have? And Stuart Skinner showed some maturity tonight. Went in, was very calm, first one of the year, and just did his job. So kudos to Stuart Skinner. Some other notables. Not a long list of notables. I'll throw Evan Bouchard in there. 25 minutes. Just as 1 second under 25 minutes he played. 27 shifts. Quite a bit of power play time. 3:49 on the power play. Had 2 shots. Had the assist, right? That was his shot that Holloway tipped in. Couple giveaways, couple block shots. But I thought it was solid of Evan Bouchard tonight. I thought he looked pretty good. I thought he actually asserted himself, like played pretty hard tonight for a guy who's a veteran guy. A lot of times in these exhibition games, you're kind of not really sure what you'll get. But I thought he gave him 25 pretty solid minutes and is off to a pretty good start. And Jake Virtanen. I would say, I asked Jay Woodcroft about him after the game, and he was reasonably complimentary. And yeah, he had a solid night tonight, and they can, the line that he played on can feel good about the fact that they were, a plus line and pushed it in the right direction a lot. I would say for a guy who should be desperate, I didn't see what I would call desperation in his game. I didn't see, legs that just would not stop moving no matter what. I thought it was just okay. He had 13 minutes and 28 seconds of ice time. He was +1, 1 shot, and 3 hits. So a little bit of a quieter night for me, for Jake Virtanen. But I think he's going to get some more opportunity. Woodcroft did say after the game that there are some guys that they are going to go back-to-back with. So they got to think about this. They got to play a game in Seattle tomorrow night. But during the exhibition season, this is what's different. During the regular season, they fly the day before and then play the following day. Not during exhibition. You fly in the same day you play and you fly out that night. It is a grind. So there are some players that are going to play back-to-back in both games. So those guys would have had morning skate today, game tonight, morning skate tomorrow in Edmonton, get on a plane, fly to Seattle, get off a plane, have a meal, go play their second game in as many nights, get on a plane and fly home. It's going to be grueling for guys that play back-to-back games. I don't know if they're planning on playing Jake Virtanen tomorrow night in Seattle, but I would be, because one of the questions I would have is how's he going to look in the second night of back-to-backs? It's supposed to be hard to make the Edmonton Oilers. Jay Woodcroft said that tonight. It's hard playing in the NHL. We know what past criticisms have been of Jake Virtanen. I think this is a great opportunity. And by the way, the word we got was that he fitness tested pretty well. But a great opportunity to grind him a little bit, put him in back-to-back games with some nasty travel. An early game tonight, so not too bad. But see what he gives you tomorrow night and see if that engine can maybe get going a little bit more tonight than it was. If I were the coaching staff, the message you want to get to him is, okay, start. Let's see a little bit more. Then you put him in a back-to-back and see if he can deliver, because that's one of the bigger questions about Jake Virtanen. I would be playing him tomorrow night in Seattle. The other thing that's notable too, it's so early, it's hard to dig into this too much and make too big a deal of it. Gregor and I were talking after the game. I thought the Oilers played pretty well defensively. And this is what Jay Woodcroft and Dave Manson are going to try and get their team to look like on a lot of nights. They didn't give up a whole lot, right? They shut a team out. That's meaningful. The other team's trying hard to score too. And was it Wheeler and Scheifele and Ehlers? No, it wasn't. But still, anytime you don't let the other team score any goals, and really there weren't a lot of grade A chances, Jay Woodcroft has been implementing some systems in the first few days of camp. I think he can probably feel pretty good about the execution. They just didn't give up a whole lot. The high danger chances for Winnipeg, there weren't many of them there. They executed their breakouts pretty well. They were fairly smooth. Yes, it was choppy at times. It's preseason. But a good start from a system standpoint for Jay Woodcroft, and he said it himself. Some of what they implemented in practice, they saw in this game tonight. And that is a positive thing. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this short shift. That's going to be the way we do this. Kind of, quick and dirty, get in and out, just kind of give you a synopsis of what we saw tonight. Really, really excited to be back here for season number 2. And lots to come in the weeks ahead. We'll be dropping a full episode of Got Your Back Tuesday morning with Strudwick, Terry Ryan, and myself. And then also, remember, we've got another podcast coming, folks. Myself and Pierre LeBrun. It'll be Got Your Back, LeBrun and Rashog NHL edition. We're going to cover everything across the entire National Hockey League. We're going to have people joining us too. It'll be a 3-way conversation each week. Ray Ferraro will join, Cheryl Pounder will join some weeks, Dregs will join some weeks, and then we'll mix in the odd name here and there too into that 4th spot. So looking forward to getting that fired up here in just a couple of days. Thanks for tuning into this short shift, folks. It's been brought to you by Mid-City Construction Management. Mid-City Construction Management, they're hiring right now. They're looking for quality people, all levels of qualifications, equipment operators, grounds people, concrete workers, snow removal. They're looking for people. So if you're looking for work, go check out their list of available opportunities, mid-city.ca online. That's mid-city.ca, and click apply now. Thanks for tuning into the short shift, folks. We'll talk to you real soon. Have yourselves a great Sunday night or Monday.